All right, today we are diving into one of the most powerful, and let's be honest, often overlooked assets in all of European logistics, its incredible network of steel highways. If you're a shipper, you know this feeling, right? The daily puzzle of moving goods across the continent. You're always trying to balance cost, speed, and reliability. But what if the best answer isn't just about finding better trucks or faster ships? What if it's about a network that's been laid out right under our noses the whole time? Because right now, rail moves only about 18% of all cargo in Europe. Now, you might look at that number and think, well, that's not a lot. But I see it completely differently. I see a massive, underutilized opportunity. For a smart shipper, understanding this network isn't just another option, it is a competitive advantage just waiting to be claimed. So to really get why this is such a big deal now, we've got to take a quick look back. Because for a long, long time, shipping by rail in Europe was anything but a smooth ride. For decades, shipping by rail across Europe was, well, a total nightmare, a maze. Every single time a train hit a border, bam, a full stop. You had different rules, different tech, different languages, and just a mountain of paperwork. All that fragmentation created huge delays and massive headaches, which pretty much made rail a last resort for international freight. But then the European Union stepped in and basically decided to change the whole game. They came up with a concept designed to tear down those old borders and create a truly seamless network just for freight. And the solution was the creation of rail freight corridors, or RFCs. The easiest way to think about them is like an interstate highway system, but for trains. These are specific, high-priority routes that are totally dedicated to making cross-border freight move as smoothly as possible. The goal was super simple: make it all easier for you, the customer. This whole new system is built around 11 of these main corridors. They crisscross the entire continent, really forming the new steel backbone of European logistics. Now, we won't go through all 11, but just to give you a sense of the scale, take a look at the Atlantic Corridor, RFC1. It links Western Europe all the way from ports in Portugal and Spain up through France and deep into Germany. Or RFC2, the North Sea Baltic, which creates this vital link from the huge ports in Belgium and the Netherlands straight across Germany and Central Europe and out to Poland and the Baltic states in the east. See? This is no longer a patchwork. It's a strategic, continent-spanning grid. Okay, so we've got this new grid. How does that actually translate into a real-world advantage for you? This is where it gets really interesting for your business and for your cargo. It's really a classic before and after story. Before, you had this tangled mess of local roads. Those were the old national networks. Now, you have that interstate highway system. Instead of constant stops and headaches at every border, you get prioritized routes where traffic is managed and coordinated across countries. The whole system is just designed for flow. In that flow means real, tangible benefits for you. We're talking about shorter, more predictable transit times, way less paperwork because the systems are starting to speak the same language, and often, this is a big one, a single point of contact, a one-stop shop to manage an entire international journey. It's all about replacing uncertainty with reliability. Another awesome side effect of this open system is that it's created intense competition. A whole wave of new, agile challenger companies has jumped into the market, and they now handle almost half of all rail freight. For you, this is fantastic news. It means more choice, more innovation, and better service because everyone is fighting for your business. But this network's ambition doesn't just stop at the edge of Europe. Not at all. It's actually a key piece of a much larger global story. Yeah, we're talking about the new Silk Road. These rail corridors are Europe's on-ramp to a land bridge that stretches all the way to China. This gives you a really powerful, strategic alternative to the old sea and air routes for your supply chain. And here's the headline benefit. For any cargo that's time-sensitive, but maybe doesn't need the crazy speed or cost of air freight, rail is a total game changer. Being about 40% faster than sea freight can make a massive difference for your inventory and your speed to market. So the value proposition here is crystal clear, right? It hits that perfect sweet spot, Faster than the ocean, way cheaper than the sky. It gives you this flexible, strategic third option to really optimize your global logistics. Okay, now let's get real for a minute. The system is powerful, but it's not perfect. To use it effectively, you have to understand the key players involved and the challenges that are still out there. You're basically dealing with three main groups. You have the national incumbents, the traditional state railways. Then you have the private challengers,
the ones who are really driving innovation with things like dedicated international block trains. And kind of overseeing it all are the RFC management bodies, who work to coordinate everything across borders. It's a really dynamic ecosystem.
And that ecosystem definitely still faces some real-world hurdles. Some routes get congested, creating bottlenecks. There's a constant need for investment to upgrade the tracks. And, as we're about to see, not all of the technical differences have been ironed out just yet. You know, the core technical challenge really comes down to one word: interoperability. Get this, Europe still uses 4 major and completely incompatible electrification systems. Plus, there are literally dozens of unique national signaling systems. It's kind of crazy. This is exactly why multi-system locomotives are so important, and why the big push for a single EU signaling standard called ERTMS is one of the most critical projects for the future of European rail.
So, what's the bottom line for you in all this? It's simple. Despite the challenges that are still being worked on, the European rail freight network has become a seriously powerful, integrated system. Understanding it and using it is no longer some niche strategy. It's a mainstream competitive advantage for any shipper who wants to be more efficient and reliable. And that leaves us with one final thought. In a world that's all about sustainability and the European Green Deal, rail has a massive advantage. It uses 6 times less energy than road transport. So the real question isn't if this network will become more important, it's just how quickly it will become the single most critical artery for all of European trade.